Let's start off with the broader market at this point. And, in making calls this morning in particular, I think this happens oftentimes. There seems to be a lot more pain than you would know from just looking sort of at the top of the water, so to speak. A lot of turbulence below. And I'm just hearing it from, from any number of asset allocators and investors this morning. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. And it's obviously not just the institutions. It's also this retail cohort that seems to be getting hurt now, perhaps, whether it's SPACs, whether it's a lot of the other speculative names. You can take a look at the Russell. You could take a look at ARK. What are your thoughts at this point, given what we're looking at here right now in terms of especially the NASDAQ being down?
Well, 1 year ago, literally today, we saw people come in, younger people, and they had a run like very rarely we've ever seen, David. I mean, they believed that stocks can only go up. And they were right. And who is to criticize them? When you're right versus the hedge funds that come on and telling you that hell is coming or hell's freezing over, whatever you want to say. David, it was an amazing run. But notice I say was. And I think that you yesterday said the SPAC outs. That was right. The SPACs are people have had it with the SPACs. There'll be some good SPACs, but it may not even matter. But, David, it is a recognition that this cohort's being blown out. And I've been using the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, one of the great Wall Street strategists. We got through the denial phase. We were way through the anger phase. Holy cow, a lot of it was directed at you. Some directed at me. The bargaining phase to stay in, well, we kind of hit that. We are in the depression phase. We are not accepting yet what's going on. And the younger people, David, I've got to tell you, are being blown out in a way that I think you and I can only remember from March of 2000.
It's important to keep an eye on it and see. But right, to that extent, I mean, we've seen significant declines in the Russell. So many things that have captured the imagination of investors. And that's why we talk so much about SPACs, because, of course, they are a phenomenon. They've created, by the way, a great deal of potential wealth amongst their sponsors, some of the investors, and, of course, the investment banks that have been underwriting them at a furious pace. But there's the Russell, Jim. I mean, that also kind of, encapsulates to a certain extent. And, what I heard this morning from any number of people is, listen, we know the growth names were suffering, in part because we watched the yield move up substantially in the 10-year and just across the curve. But now it's the recovery names that also have started to suffer. And, by the way, the 10-year is back to 1.6 after that brief foray into the 1.7 lands. And so what's going on is the question.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.